What's up, guys? We're back to another r slash. Wait a second.
What's up, guys? We're back to another r/nuclear revenge. Ooh, that's much better. Probably gonna take a few days of me tweaking the gain around a bit to get the sound exactly how I want it, but even in the meantime, it is so much better. Also, let me know in the comments how you like the new mic. Good or bad, give me your feedback. Anyways, let's get into the stuff you came here for. The sweet, sweet nuclear revenge stories. But first, just so you know, we have a bonus if you're new, so stick around for that, and let's get in the stories. See you in a bit. Beware the fury of a patient man. I came out as bisexual to my father when I was in middle school. My father was always verbally abusive and an alcoholic due to his own turbulent childhood and his experience in the Gulf War. But after that, it escalated to physical violence against myself and my mother. It lasted up until my third year of college. I was unable to move due to a limited income. And it escalated to full-blown aggravated assault one night that ended with me holding my father in a rear naked choke while the police had to pry me off him. We went to court. My mother filed for divorce immediately. Now, the revenge. During the hearings, my father was convinced that I was going to vouch for him, as he thought he were blameless. I spelled it all out to the attorney and judge. The verbal abuse, the physical abuse, all of it. The look on my piece of crap father's face was priceless. And the final nail in the coffin was when he blurted out, "She turned you against me." Ice water in my veins. I replied, "No, you turned me against you." The separation was granted with a vengeance. Not only does my father owe $1,000 a month in alimony, but my mother now has a restraining order in place. Word got out to my family's friends, and they all summarily severed ties with the old man. His social life, his job prospects, his freedom, and the life he had built for himself had all been blown to the flinders. He still texts me, but I don't text him back. As far as I'm concerned, the only time I'll ever see him again is when I have to identify his body. Never underestimate a child's ability for revenge. Cross post. Thought it may go well here. First post, TLDR at the bottom. Am I the a-hole? When I was much younger, I was molested by a few different people on different occasions. One almost broke my spirit, but I got my revenge in the end. Being little and in the 4th grade, there wasn't much I could do physically, but I bided my time. After being held out of school by my grandfather, who told me to put on a dress that was much too small and wanted me to sit on his lap, I did neither. But a degree of molestation occurred anyway. I felt dirty, degraded, but most of all, I was pissed. I threw myself even further into my schoolwork and waited. Tick, tick, tick. My father, who worked nights, was asleep in his room before his shift started. My grandfather and I were in the living room, watching television. He in his recliner, and I on the couch. He started making noises, like a little puppy hopping on his stomach, forcing the air from his lungs, and vomited into a small trash can next to his chair. Then grabbed his chest and looked at me. Confused, I asked if he was okay, and all he could say was, "Ugh. I knew from CPR training from the Girl Scouts that he was having a heart attack. I sat on the couch and held eye contact with him, smiling. I waited and waited and waited until he fell unconscious, and it was likely too late for anything to be done before getting my dad and telling him what was happening in the living room. My dad called 911 and the ambulance came to take the old man away, and I was sent to my neighbor's house, while Dad followed the ambulance in his own vehicle. The old pervert died in the hospital, and I had to play the tearful granddaughter at the funeral. I guess I wasn't a very good Girl Scout after all. TLDR, grandfather molested me as a child, and I waited until a heart attack was too far along for him to be saved before I got help. Clean out all this crap? Okay. Not a story about me, but a couple people my dad knew, who both passed away around 10 years ago. We'll call them John and Steve. These guys, along with a few others not relevant to the story, were notorious for their yearly trips into the local mountains for fishing and hunting, which is where we got to know them, as my family ran a tourist cabin nearby. The whole area was a protected national park, meaning no roads existed within 30 kilometers, only a dirt track for tractors, and permission to drive on these roads were very sparsely given out. This will be relevant later. Now, most of these guys owned a cabin up there, but Steve didn't. So in the early years, he mostly stayed with John. A few years in, they had a party at one of the guys' cabins, and a bunch of hunters from the cabins around joined in. Once they got to talking, Steve overheard a guy who was lamenting how he had so little time to fix up his cabin, which was at the moment just an empty shell with a bed and an old rusty oven. Steve chimed in and said he could fix it up for him if he could use it when the owner wasn't around, which was most of the time anyway. They made a deal, and for the next couple years he shined that cabin up until it was luxurious. He insulated, built bunk beds, put a new oven and cabinets, stocked it with firewood and food, all the essentials. He even made a new chimney. And this was all carried on his back. Every piece of material used. He poured blood, sweat, and lots of money into that place. The owner was basically getting the value of his cabin tripled for free. After many years, now all in their 60s, Steve started suffering from Alzheimer's disease. He would still hike and fish for a few years, though got lost many times and had to eventually give up after getting lost and almost freezing to death. In his last summer of using the cabin, he had left it a bit of a mess. Not too surprising in his deteriorating state of mind. Sometime in the late summer, John came for a visit at Steve's house. Steve was clearly upset and told him he had gotten an angry phone call from the owner of the cabin, telling him to clean up the mess and to never use the cabin again. In a different language, but something like, clean up this crap and then get the hell out. Now, John wasn't a man you'd want to mess with, being well known as a rowdy drunk with a bad temper. Even in his 60s, as I remember from him when I was a kid, he was a very imposing man. Think Bluto from Popeye in real life. He knew how much that place meant to Steve. He spent every summer for decades there, fishing, hunting, and drinking together. He had helped him fix it up, and had seen how Steve had thought of this cabin as his own paradise. Now, not only couldn't he go back because of his disease, but he was shut out from even the hope of going back. But being the decent man he was, even as devastated as he was still upset that he couldn't at least go back and clean out after himself. These were old-fashioned country guys, and he felt he had been neglected in his care of the cabin. Even if it didn't deserve the reaction it got, this only made John more furious. So he told Steve, "Don't worry, I'll clean it up for you." So he went to the cabin, ripped down the beds, smashed the oven with a sledgehammer, tore down the cabinets, and shattered every plate, glass, and cup. He pulled down the interior of the walls and ripped out the insulation, ripped up the floorboards, and knocked down the chimney. He then took all the rubble outside and burned it, tossing in the lake anything that didn't burn, like the smashed oven. He then called the owner and said, "I cleaned out all the crap." Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed those last few stories. Sorry if the volume is kind of fluctuating a bit. I'm still messing with the gain, still trying to get this thing exactly how I want it long term. Hopefully in the next few videos I can get it perfect, or at the very least better than it is now. Anyways, let's get into the bonus for the day, which is going to be r/choosing beggars. Let's do it. Hi Navy Run, you have an absolutely beautiful, amazing voice. Is it true that the gig is $5 for 60 seconds? Or is there some hidden cost? Regards. Yes, it is $5 USD for 60 seconds of my vocals. That's amazing. I'm happy to promote your gig on my Facebook page, which has over 300 followers. Usually this promotion is $60+, but for you, I will trade it for only 10 minutes of your vocals on my tracks. What do you think? I'm so sorry, but I only accept payments in cash and not trades. Damn, bud, you really are one greedy son of a gun. Let me know when you change your mind. You ain't getting any orders with your current promotion level, clearly. You know what? I lied. Your gig is crap, and nobody will order from you ever. Good luck on here without being willing to spend anything on promotion. I'm sorry I couldn't help you. Thank you for your advice. I just got my first 3 orders today, by the way. Who does this guy think he is, charging $60+ for a promotion with only 300 people? Maybe in that industry it's good, but I don't know. It sounds pretty tiny to me. And here's your bill. But I'm an Instagram influencer. I can give you exposure. It's more valuable than cash. Content is my currency. Just ask my hundreds of followers. You seriously expect to pay in Instagram photos? Of course not. 1 photo. I don't post more than that for free. I think it's only fair that if you're trying to charge with exposure, you should get paid in exposure until you're just homeless on the street. So, can you make a YouTube banner for me? Of course I can help. My YouTube banners are on a special at the moment. $5 each. Please tell me what type of banner you're looking at. I don't pay people. Bro, I won't pay. I want a free banner. Bye. Maybe if he offered to expose himself, he might have gotten that free banner. I heard it's pretty effective with artists. Okay, so I want logo for my YouTube/TikTok channel when I upload. Mostly some CSGO/MC edits. My username is redacted, so I want to have a big black bee with some glow and some particles flying in the background. Send me at least 5 logos that were differently made so I can choose. It'll also be for Twitter and Facebook fan page. Sure, but keep in mind that since you want 5 of them, it will be more expensive. Okay, no problem. I will pay more if you make it today. I will try to do it ASAP, but I cannot guarantee that it will be done today. Man, please. Look, I was planning on giving you $6, $1 for every draft, and 1 for making it quick. Redacted. That is my PayPal. Now tell me yours, and I will pay you $7 if you make it really quick. $8? Hello? Where the hell are you at? I've spent 6 years studying graphic design. It cost me over $5,000 to go on them. I also spent more than $2,000 on my hardware for GD and license, of course. And you're offering me $8 for 5 drafts? Yeah, but it will only take you about an hour of your time. $8 for an hour? I'm sorry, but that's more than effing good. Oh, you're probably right. I'm sorry for the messages above. I will do it within an hour. That's what I'm talking about. I was thinking about it. $8 is probably way too much. I will do it for 50 cents. 10 cents for every draft. Smiley face. Done. I really tried my best. What the actual hell is that? This is garbage. I don't know, I kinda like it. I mean, just get rid of the white dots all around it, and the minimalist style isn't that bad. Also, I like how this kid keeps adding on another $1 like it's some great incentive. Like, if you're really quick, maybe you'll earn yourself a little extra $1 there, champ. Alright guys, that's gonna wrap it up for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.